here to discuss Tianxia. This is the latest T-Series game. It's come from Daniele Tascini, the one who originally created Zolkut, I believe, or at least was one of the creators. This is the latest from Board and Dice Games. Came out at Gen Con. But before we get any further into the discussion, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down there so you can follow along in all of our upcoming reviews of all the new cool games that we got at Gen Con and
whatever else you pick up.
Yeah, whatever else we might have from the back of the vault.
That's right.
So, Rob, what can you tell us about this?
Well, like Randy said, it's a 2025 release. It's actually not available for retail yet, but I'll give you some ideas of where you can pre-order it if you want to look into it. Overall rank on Board Game Geek is 10,149. Good rating at 8.0. Plays 1 to 4 people in 60, 120 minutes. Definitely on the 120 minute side, if not longer. For ages 14 and up, which I think is pretty accurate. It's a pretty meaty game. Again, designed by Daniele Tascini and Antonio Petrelli. Published by Board and Dice. MSRP shows $60 on Card House, and they have it up for pre-order for $49.99. Another company I haven't heard of, but it's out of Texas, called Tanuki Games. I don't know if you heard of them. But they had it up for pre-order for a little bit cheaper at $47.99. But Board and Dice also has it up for their website. Might think about it, it's $60, but it comes with a couple promos that you can't get through retail. So.
Okay. So let's talk about the quality of components. So Board and Dice has really upped their game in the last few years as far as the quality of the pieces. All of the little meeples have screen printing on them. Some of the tokens have heat transfer.
Right.
And yeah, so your walls, your buildings, your meeples, they're all upgraded.
They look good.
Disappointingly though, all of the resources are just cardboard shits.
And that's probably just because there's so many of them. So
yeah,
keep it a little bit probably price efficient.
As far as the component quality goes, it's a mixed bag. The player board's basically just cardstock. It's a little thicker, I guess, but it does have a linen finish. It's got a giant oversized board,
which is 6-fold, which is good to prevent warping and things like that.
Yeah, it laid smooth once we've got it out. I'd say it's probably, as far as quality goes, I'd probably give it about a 7.
Yeah, I think so, because the cardboard part of it's okay. I mean, they do have a linen finish, which is always nice, but it's not that thick, and you just want to make sure you keep it dry, because it doesn't look like it's really protected against anything like that in case someone likes to spill a Diet Mountain Dew on it like we have in the past. And so things like that. But I think a 7, maybe 7.5, because it is, the wooden components are nice. And even though like the boats, the barges are cardboard, they require a little bit of construction, they're kind of neat looking even though they're cardboard. So maybe out of 7.5. I'll just bump it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the theme of the game, I'm not real familiar with Tianxia.
I think it's Chinese.
I would assume so.
And so, but that's about it. It looks like it's a major shipping hub, though. According, once we get into the playthrough of it, that's a big part of the game.
Yeah, and you're defending against an invading horde that's coming in. It's got a little bit of co-op element to it, which actually, that was my favorite part of the game, interestingly, considering I'm usually not a huge fan of co-op, but it was embedded nicely into the gameplay. I think that I'm going to give this, as far as thematics goes, I mean, the art is pretty on the main board, but there just isn't a lot of it. Most of it's iconography when you get into the individual cards. I'll probably go ahead and give it... I'll probably give it a 7 on this as well.
I'm a little bit higher, I guess, in opinion on it. I think I'm a 7.5 on it as well, because the board is beautiful, first of all. I really like it a lot. Even though it feels, when you look at it, maybe a little congested, it's actually, I think it's laid out really well. It gives you space to do stuff, and it's kind of clear on what to do and where to do it at, which I like that a lot. I think it's kind of neat how the design of the board is, not just the art, but how the attacking is up front and how it works its way down. So when we talk about mechanics, it will make sense. So I like that for the theme part of it as well. So I think I'm a 7.5. So.
Okay. Moving on to the rulebook. The rulebook is 20 pages in length, but there's also a second rulebook for solo and 2-player gameplay.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So the game is clearly designed around 3 and 4 players with auxiliary rules. The 2-player basically introduces, as usual, a third party that occupies spaces. And then solo play, there's a different deck of a different deck of cards. There's different a die element to it. I guess there are cards also associated with that.
But probably incorporates blocking and things like that.
I don't know. I don't read the solo play. As far as the first 5 pages of this rulebook, it's actually 5 pages, are all about the setup, because it does take a long time to set this up. It does have a cover that matches the box, so it's really only 4 pages because the first page is the cover. Then it goes into kind of the key elements of the game, just kind of high level. Then you go through the different phases of the game, spending most of your time on the key one, which is the action phase.
Right.
You're going to take. It's kind of like Terraforming Mars as far as the play of this, where you're going to take a turn and you keep taking. So technically, there's only 4 rounds to the game, but technically those rounds can last a while because you keep taking actions.
Time.
And
a lot of downtime.
Definitely, if you're prone to sensory overload or analysis paralysis or whatever you want to call it,
it could be a hindrance.
This has definitely got elements of that.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to go ahead and give the rule book. I mean, there was one typo I noticed that was just a spelling typo. It was divided instead of divided.
Okay.
But apart from that, everything else was pretty much easily interpretable. That we didn't ever have to go online for any of our questions. Everything was answered in the book, which I appreciated. It does have a QR code where you can scan anything, where you can scan it to look up if it's got the living rule book.
And the iconography, I think it's pretty clear too. So
yeah,
I like that part of the game as well.
So, and then from page 13 on, it's appendices for all the iconography, and it does include every tile, every card.
And that's what I had to go back to the rule book for that, just because I don't think it wasn't that it was clear enough. I just want to clarify, make sure I got it right. And so, but yeah, I really like the fact that, unfortunately, especially recently, we've seen a lot of rule books not include all the cards or all the tiles, and that's a pain.
Yeah.
But this has everything, and I really like that a lot.
Yeah, the ones that just guess what you're going to ask questions about.
Right.
Those
like a common FAQ type of thing. Yeah.
This is much better. So I'm going to go ahead and give the rulebook 8.5 because of that. It's actually a pretty quick read, even though it is a 20-page rulebook, and the game being as complex as it is to get you into the game as fast as it does, I think it does a good job.
I do have to think. I mean, we'll talk about gameplay, but I thought about this last night after we got done playing a little bit this morning after I woke up, and I do feel, although it's a meaty game, I don't think it's as complex as some of the other games.
I don't either.
So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, especially as we get older and brain capacity starts going downhill a little bit.
Well, I didn't really read the rules, but I did like that. Like I said, the fact that it does include all the cards and anything you would need to find is in there. I appreciate that. So, thumbs up.
All right. As far as the gameplay, so you're going to start the game out. You got a board that is basically not upgraded at all, but you're going to draft in reverse turn order. Once you determine turn order, a combination of a starting basically bonus for your resource production, and you're going to get starting resources, and then everybody based on turn order is also going to get coin. Whoever goes first gets 2, and it goes around till it's like 2, 3, 3, 4 with 4 players. Right. Coins are very scarce in this game.
Oh, very tight. I mean, there's like 2 things that's super important: money and wood.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 hardest things to get, which kind of makes sense, but those are hard to get.
Yeah. So basically there's different regions of the board, and your actions are going to be, they have a neat cheat sheet. I didn't bring this up during the rules.
And it's very useful.
Yeah, this is very handy. One side it has the different actions, the other side has the round overview of what happens throughout the turn. So the different actions actions are where you're gonna spend most of the time of the game,
You get 3 of them.
and you get 3 action.
You get 3 action tokens,
but you can take on some more actions.
as we were saying earlier, each action can be lengthy.
Yeah,
But you do have 3 action markers.
and there's free actions you can take that don't require the markers. So you have your region actions, which is where you're going to play.
That's the top board, yeah.
The middle of the board, actually, it's kind of from
most of it. Yeah.
So this is where you're going to do most of your actions. It's where you're going to play action tokens to different regions of the board. So really, that's where most of the tokens are going to be. Well, I think pretty much all the tokens. That's the only place.
That's the only place you play them. Yeah.
So you're going to trigger different sections of the regions on the board, and you'll get different perks for doing so. If you get a coastal one, you can do trading. If you get an interior one, there's one specifically for building out the military wall to defend against the invading hordes.
Well, I mean, and I think with the action markers, there's really only one thing you're doing. Two things. You're either shipping if you're on the right side of the board, or you're creating governors.
Yeah.
And so now those governors can get wiped out, as we'll talk about. But that's really all there is to it. But what's interesting is where you put your governors at. You either get an income building, or you get either a one-time building or something when it happens, then this happens.
Yes.
Instead of income at the beginning of the turn.
Yes.
But I mean, with the simplicity of that, there's just so much that goes into that decision, though.
Yes. So and you can suffer heavily if other people take the actions that you need and they're no longer available to you.
And the fact that there's only 3 governor spots, so if you're playing a 4-player game, that 4th player cannot get in there.
Yeah. And you cost more wood to get...
For each person beyond the first.
Yeah, the governors are where the wood is spent, and it's really pricey.
And it literally goes from just 1 governor to then +1, +2, and then even more just to be able to go the cost of building into the area.
+1, but...
So some of them, the third one has +2.
Oh, that one does, okay.
And then there's always a cost that's random at the beginning, part of the setup is these little chits that go on top of the building itself, and that's like the base cost. So you get the base cost +1 or more, depending on the number of governors there, and it can go even higher if the horde comes through and beats up that building. Then it increases the cost of it. Yep. So it just becomes more and more potentially longer in the game.
Yes.
And again, wood's hard to get.
Yeah. The next is the military action.
Right.
This is where you're going to take actions on the specific city up here, playing your token, and allows you to build either wall portions or add soldiers to the area.
Yeah, so there's walls, and then I guess we never really clarified the name of the building, but it's like a guardhouse type of building.
Yeah.
And only one of those can build in each of the 4 regions. So you have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So you have to get in there fast to be able to build those buildings. Now we did find that one of the tokens acts like +2, but you don't get to move them from your board. It's just a little chit that you put on there that adds 2 to it, which is important.
Right.
But at the same time, one of my big things I was trying to go for is scoring those. I was like, man, I want to try and get these buildings out super fast, and everybody else is doing the same thing. So it really escalated that decision making, and I really kind of wanted to do other stuff instead, but couldn't.
Then you have the barge actions. This is the trading actions.
Now I think this part was kind of interesting.
Yeah, so the different regions that are on the coast will be associated with different boats. The boats are 2-piece. I liked how they did this. It's kind of like a puzzle where you join a sail to the boat, and the sail has the different trade aspect of the game.
So the boat part of it has rewards.
Yes.
And then the sail, which is the puzzle piece, has the requirements and each time you make that deal with that boat, the perk that you get.
Yes. So that was kind of a cool idea.
It is a very cool idea because it really adds that ton of variety.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what combination you're going to get.
Yeah. And then the last action is just to pass, and if you pass, it's basically you're going to get you're going to get to be
get
earlier
access.
in the turn order.
Yeah.
You get to draft a tile that's going to give you some kind of a perk, and you're first to do that. And then you're out for the round. You may have some actions that you've accumulated that trigger upon passing too. But yeah, in general, it's just basically ending your turn
Right.
and resetting turn order.
And there is actually strategy involved in that because
Yeah.
one, it affects turn order, like you just said, but two, getting access to some of these tokens could really be beneficial. And so you found that on your last turn, I think, by when you decided passing and getting access to that
Yeah.
token first made a big difference for you.
Yeah, because there is a set collection element to this around these jade statues. They have
Right.
6 different colors. Typically, you can only have one of each color. I had my board had everybody's boards are
A little different.
A little
Yeah.
different as far as their abilities go. Mine had an ability to let me play 2 of the same statues, so I didn't have to necessarily focus on getting all the different ones.
Right. You just had to have them.
I just had to have them, but you do have to pay the soldiers costs to get rid, or not really soldiers, but your meeples.
And I think that you just brought up kind of a neat thing that we need to talk about is I guess it's your workers, but they're kind of designed in a way that you can be used for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
So they can be your governors, they could be your soldiers that we haven't talked about yet, or they can be the barge people.
Yeah.
And so the interesting part of the barge is one, it gives you a one-time perk, but also helps with your income. But the neat part is they bump other bargemen off.
Yeah.
So they slide in, and then if there's got 3 and you're the 4th, you bump off the 4th one, goes to that owner, but that's where your unique abilities for your board kick in, because then it becomes a merchant. And so then you decide where the merchant is, and then that's usually a one-time ability that you choose when to activate. Now, most of them have a 1 merchant ability, and the other 2 are 2 merchant abilities. So you have to have 2 merchants on those to be able to activate it. But my guy, it had a really, even though I overplayed it by accident a couple times, but it had a really neat ability that if I choose to do any of the military stuff, I got perks, which was really cool because it allowed me to extend the amount of times I could do that ability again. So it was really neat. Now, I didn't get to know how everybody else did very well, but like Miranda had a really good one where she got money. So that, again, with money being so hard to get, that's a really powerful ability.
Yeah.
You had a really good one.
Well, I didn't really feel mine was that great, honestly.
I think the Jade Statues is really nice.
Yeah, but I never even used the power.
That's true, but I mean, the Jade Statues were so hard to get anyway. The fact that that was one less limitation on your part, I think is good.
Yeah, because all I had 5, but of the 6, but all 5 were different, so it didn't matter. And you also have to have, at the time you acquire that the one that's the same, you have to have the merchants in play.
Right.
So I tied up 2 of my merchants for the entire game that I couldn't use if I wanted to use that ability. So I was a little bummed that my board really didn't have as much functionality, it felt like, as everybody else's. Other than that, it was just getting basic resources or in specific cities I had a perk.
So let's talk about the military part, because I think that was one of the most interesting parts of the game.
So after everyone passes, at the beginning of the round, you're going to determine how far the horses advance and what their strength increase is. So you basically have to match or exceed their strength in order to fight them back.
Right.
And all of your wall pieces contribute 1, your towers contribute 2 to that strength, and then any soldiers you play contribute 1. And basically, at the end of the round, you're going to discount all the wall parts and the towers first,
and they stay.
And that they stay.
They stay, which is important.
Then you're going to start left to right. You're going to start removing individual meeples from that are put there as soldiers, and each one generates a victory point when it's being eliminated,
as well as a power towards the general again and trying to prevent that.
Yeah. So once it reaches basically 0, then the fight's over. If you don't have enough soldiers and walls to protect, then the the horde goes into your towns, and each step of the way they lose a little bit of strength.
Right, and that's the neat part because each area has a different, and it's different too. It's not 3, 2, 1. One section might be 3, 2, 1. The other one might be 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And so the goal is to prevent them from getting down to the very bottom, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, each one of those spots reduces that power.
Yeah.
But the sucky part is if they get there, they do bad stuff.
Yeah, they destroy all the governors there.
Right.
Which is, in some cases, not a bad thing. Because
because you were wanting that to happen.
Yeah, because I wanted those Jane statues to come out, and the only
Right.
way to get new ones is to have your cities have no governors.
Basically get ransacked.
Yeah. Because once the governors are wiped out, you put a new starting tile because it's an empty city.
Right.
And then if you survive it, then the battle's over. If you don't, then at the end, for each point of defense that you didn't provide, you're either paying a coin or you're taking a 3 victory point.
And that's everybody.
Everybody.
Not just one specific person.
So it can be brutal.
And we never got there because we did a really good job, I think, of defending. But we did get some villages ransacked.
Yeah, and they have 2 different settings of difficulty. So if you're trying to play a lighter game that's more friendly, they have a deck for that. We played the standard game, which is the harder of the 2. But I honestly didn't find the soldiers to be that difficult.
I don't think so, but it's something as a group you have to really make sure that you focus a little bit on that. Yeah. Or it can be very devastating.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the overall gameplay, I really enjoyed the fact that I think there's a lot of learning that can still be applied, and it's going to have a lot of plays in it. I don't think it's something you're going to play once and be done with.
Right.
There's a lot of boats there that you don't use. There's a lot of buildings you don't use. Well,
and then I think in the variety aspect, because when you set up, each building has a specific track that it looks at. So when you build a governor or do that action, then you can then go up these tracks that are on the bottom part of the board. I didn't focus on that so much, and that's definitely hit me at the end of the game for scoring, because you have the opportunity to score. If you're in first place for that track, you get 7 points. And then in addition, on the way up there, you get more victory points or more tokens or like all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an interesting mechanic as well, the fact that how random it is and how it affects these tracks.
Yeah. So, and it kind of offsets the soldiers, which also have that as you're evaluating them. When a battle occurs, you only count them when the battle occurs. But you get the 7-4-2 split for whoever
contributed the most,
down to the 3rd position.
Which I did well on that part.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to pull out a victory, because by the end of the game, I think I did well, but Randy and Adam eventually being the winner, just annihilated Miranda and I.
So, and it looked like I was way behind for most of the game, so I was pretty happy that I came in second. I'm still not sure exactly how that happened, but...
it was a pretty tight game between you and Adam.
So, yeah, all in all, I think I'm probably an 8 on this one. I think it's one I'm going to enjoy playing again and again. I don't think Miranda was as high on it, but, she's not here to give her score, so she doesn't get a vote.
So I really liked it. Unfortunately, where I'm at in life now and who I play with, I can't see getting this to the table very often, which is unfortunate because I think it's definitely one of the more approachable of the T games, and I think I could really get into this a lot if I had a dedicated group that would want to play it pretty often. So that's unfortunate, so I don't think I'd be buying it from my collection, but I would definitely never say no when say, hey, Randy says, let's play Tianxia. Okay, let's go for it, because it's a good
I don't think
game.
I'd say that because I don't think I could pronounce it. I'd be calling it Tianxia because that's how it looks, but I'm sure it's the wrong pronunciation.
And I'm probably wrong too. So either way, it's a fun game.
Yeah, if you know how to pronounce it, give us the pronunciation.
Phonetically, because Hook on Phonics worked for us. So.
Yeah. No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Sorry, old joke if you get it.
Yeah. So, in case you're wondering, it's fantasy football season. So, got my Nerdvana Know Nothing's my team name. I got tired of buying jerseys for my favorite players and having them immediately change teams right after I bought the jersey. So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to get a
He
jersey
got his own
I know
jersey.
I could stick with for someone I'm going to have every year on my team, and that's my team itself.
There you go.
So, yeah, if you're playing fantasy football, let me know who's on your team. I'd love to know that too.
And I think I didn't get a score. I think I'm an 8 too. So,
Okay.
So I think I'm an 8 as well.
All right. So, got pretty close scores on
Yeah.
everything. So, all right. Well,
If you get a chance to play it, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
All right. Until next time, you figure out how to pronounce this for us, and we'll keep
on.
playing it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.